Welcome back to the Library Choice YouTube channel. In today's class, I'm going to learn how to make this beautiful high-low flare blouse. The front is high while the back is low. You can see how it's progressing towards the side and then the back. It's a free top and it's very simple to make. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so this is an high-low dress. It's a flare dress, so I have folded my fabric. It's quite big, so I'm going to be showing you how I do that. What you need to do is to fold your fabric into two first, and after folding it into two, you're going to fold in a triangular form like this, in a bias form, in a complete triangular form, to form your flare, like a half circle flare. So that is what I have on my table here. So now what I'm going to do is to have my basic bodice. Okay, this is just a basic bodice that stops around the armhole area. So here, when you fold it, you have two sides that's completely folded. You can see this part is completely folded, and this other side has some side open. Excuse me. You can see, so this part that is completely folded is going to be your center front and your center back. So that is where you're going to match your center front, the center front of your pattern. This is the center front. Remember, this is where the armhole is, which is the side. So you're going to match those center fronts together like this. Make sure that they align. Make sure that your shoulder, you have enough for your shoulder as well. So once you have that, you can go ahead and then pin it down so that it can stay in place for you. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark the length that I want for this blouse. So like I said, it's a high-low blouse. I'm going to make it a little long so that my high-low effect can show very well. It can be as long as you want. So now here, this is the shoulder. You can see the shoulder. This is like my starting point now. Where my shoulder is my starting point. So here I'm going to be taking that measurement, that length measurement from there. So now from there, I'm going to mark my full length for the blouse. So here I'm working with 36 inches, so I'm going to add one seam allowance to that to make it 37, and then I'm going to mark that all round. So I'll just shift it a bit so that you can see what I'm marking here. Okay, so I'm doing that from the shoulder like I explained, and I'm going to mark out 37 inches all round. So after marking that, the next thing is to go ahead and connect all of them together, and then we are going to cut this out. So like I said, it's a very simple tutorial. Okay, so I have marked and connected it so that we can have something smaller. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the hem first. So I'll just grab my scissors and then cut what I have marked here. On the hem. So after that, we're going to continue with the drafting. Okay, so now we're going to go to the beginning again. I'm going to cut around this paper, exactly what I have there. I'm cutting out my armhole. The neckline measurement that I have here is still for the back. So when I cut out the back, I'm going to remove it and cut the front as well. So this is my shoulder, and this is my back neckline. Okay, so for the side, to reconcile the side, If you have added allowance to this pattern, you will not need to add allowance again, but I have not added allowance to mine. So here I'm going to add my seam allowance. So after adding my seam allowance there, I'll go ahead and take my ruler and then connect it to somewhere here. So you can just eyeball it. So as I'm cutting, you can see I'm just connecting it to where I have my seam allowance there. So you can see. So the other side that is still closed, I'll go ahead and open it. So now what I'm going to do now is to detach this paper carefully and remove one of it. Remember, we have two, one for front and one for back. And I said I have only cut out the neckline for the back. So I'm detaching that now, and then I'm going to rearrange it and place my pattern back on it. So after placing my pattern, I'm going to go ahead and cut my back neckline. You can see my front neckline. So here I'm going to hold it down and then cut the neckline. So it can be a sleeveless, or you can cut out a sleeve for this. I'm just going to cut a regular basic sleeve for this, and then I'm going to also cut a facing. So if you notice, the neckline is small, so the head may not be able to pass through it. So for the back, I'm going to open a slit, like 4 inches slit for the back, and then I'll close it with a button so that the head can easily pass through it. So you fold it like this into two again, and then I'm going to measure down the slit opening that I want for this. Like I said, around 4 inches is fine. So I'll go ahead now and slash open the midpoints by that 4 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut facing and sleeve for this. Facing is just a smaller version. So you put your fabric on fold and then cut out a smaller version of what you have here. Okay, so now I've gone ahead to cut the sleeve. Like I said, I'm using a basic sleeve for mine. So I have the 2 sleeves here, and for the main fabric as well, I have cut out facing for the 2 of them. And like I said, facing is just a smaller version of the main fabric, so you can see. So I'm going to use the facing to turn the necklines that I am working with. Okay, and here where we slashed it, I will put a loop so that I can put buttons for it to be easy to wear. So after that, what you just need to do after turning it, I'll just place the front and back on each other. I'm going to sew it on the shoulder, then I'll fix my sleeve and show this side so that I can show you how to do the high-low effect. Okay, so you can see now that I have sewn it. I turned the neckline. The neckline is neatly turned now, and I added a loop to the back so that I can fix a button here. So you go ahead and iron it. So this is the shoulder. I've sewn the shoulder as well, and I added my basic sleeve to it. So to create the high-low effect, remember the front is the high while the back is the low. So what I'm going to do is to fold like this. These are my 2 side seams on the hem. So I'm going to match it together and then fold it in such a way that I'll have my center front separate like this. Let me place it like this so that I can see it better. So these are my side seam, and together make sure you arrange it well. This is my center front and this is my center back. I'm not going to touch the center back because it's already the length that I want. So the length that I want to reduce is just for the center front. So it depends on how high you want your center front to be. Remember, our full length was 36 inches. So now let's say I want my center front to have maybe a length of 25-26 inches. I can remove 10 inches from the full length, which is this. If it's shifting, I'm using a crepe fabric, you can use your pin to hold it down so that it's not going to give you stress. It's not going to stress you too much. Okay, so now, like I said, this is my center front here. So now from the hem, you can go ahead and mark from 10 inches above from the hem. So let's say this is 10 inches. I can even do this in bits so that you can see it first. If you cut small, you will check. If you are not okay with it, you can go ahead and cut again. It's better than just cutting and then it will be too much. That way you will not have any remedy. So I'm pinning it now. So after doing this, the next thing is to connect from, you can use your free hand or you use a curve. So I'm going to connect from that center point where I marked at the center front to the side seam, which is here. So you can connect it like this. You can connect it in a U form, anyhow you want it to be. Then you blend it in with what you have coming from the back. I hope you understand that. So after connecting it, you're going to take your scissors and you cut it out on the front. This is the center front, this is the side of the two sides, this is the center front. So you go up from the center front, not the center back, because the center front is the high part while the center back is the low part. So now from here you can cut it anyhow you want it to be, and I'm cutting towards the side, and I'm going to blend it to the back. Okay, just like this. So now this is what we have. So if you open it out now, you will see that what you have at the front now is shorter than what you have at the back. You can see the difference that you have there. So now you're going to go ahead, take it to your sewing machine now, and then you hem it all around. So I'm going to hem it and take it to the mannequin so that I can see what it looks like. I have gone ahead to hem it, and this is what it looks like. You can see how beautiful it is looking. So the front can be as high as you want. It depends on you and your preference. You just need to increase or decrease your measurement. This is what the back looks like, and you can see that the back is very long. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.